The question is, what does the Bible say about marriage to non-believers?
A believer marrying a non-believer is something that should not be done. How can two walk together unless they agree? There's a path that leads to life. There's a path that leads to destruction. And if one's on one path and the other person on the other path, you can't walk through life together. What fellowship does light have with darkness? A believer should not marry an unbeliever, because what's going to happen is in life, when you're walking through life, you're going to be going through two totally different directions in life. It's going to make it hard and difficult. What you want to do is you want to get married to a believer. You want to get married to a person who's walking the life of the Lord Jesus Christ with you.
Thank you, Pastor Price. And, Dr. Balark, I've seen this so many times as a pastor. Believers marry non-believers, and it rarely turns out well. So is there a biblical reference? What does the Bible say about marrying non-believers?
Well, Paul talks about it in the 1 Corinthians in that 7th chapter. Basically says that, if there is a situation where a couple or one is a believer versus one is a non-believer, that regardless of how the situation may unfold, they are to remain together. And as Pastor Price had already alluded to, you're going to have some challenges when you are in a relationship or in a marriage with someone who is a non-believer and you happen to be a believer. And so I've seen it happen. I know individuals. I had a relative who was married for over 60 years, and she was a believer and her husband was not a believer, and they stayed together for all those years. So she was one of those type of believers that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, even though there were ups and downs in the marriage. But Paul talks about it, exclusively in that 1 Corinthians in that 7th chapter.
Thank you, Dr. Balark. And Apostle McClinton, what advice would you give to someone that maybe is a believer, they're thinking about marrying a non-believer? What advice would you give to them?
I would tell you caution and read the word. Yes, God has given us the right to choose, but he's also given us some instructions to help us live this life a whole lot better. You think you have trials and tests, come on, and just in regular life, when you complicate it and are yoked with someone who is not on the same page as you, does not have the same beliefs or the same God as you, there are more tests and trials that you'll come to. And I would say, listen, if we were looking to the Bible for the answers in 2 Corinthians 6:14 tells us, be not. That's a very strong, not even a suggestion, but it's a very strong instruction. Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. When you're yoked, you're in covenant, you're bonded with them, and there's certain regulation that despite who you are, you're going to have to be bound by those things. And so if they are serving another God, what type of conflict is that going to be for you? If you're believing God for increase and they're praying against that, what kind of conflict is that or life would that be for you to live when it's already complicated enough? Don't further complicate your life. Follow the instructions that have been left for us.